Narrative Lab, you're here. You did it. Hi, everyone. I'm Alvis. I am lucky enough to have been a RealWorks alumni from many ages ago. And now I have the honor and privilege to have been one of the instructors along with Anais Cisco, who I want to give a huge shout out to. And guys, a whole year since last October, huge journey to get here, right? And now that we have you up here, I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. I hope you don't mind. Everyone's curious and wants to know. First thing, what was one thing that you guys were most proud of to achieve during your filmmaking journey? Like, it's been a year, right? And in the best of times, making a movie is challenging, right? And you guys, you struggled and persevered through the hardest of times, right?
So my name is Jason Oakman, and my film was Broken Soul. For me, when starting RealWorks, especially Nerve Lab, I struggle in developing my film idea because it was the first film that was shown. It was like about this guy in his head trying to deal with his own depression, his own issues, and his past. And throughout the process of Nerve Lab, I was able to somehow put into paper and also voice my ideas towards my peers and towards everyone that can help me.
My name is David Lee. I was the director of Code Boy. What I struggled with when doing this Code Boy film, it wasn't exactly my idea because I already had like an idea of how I wanted to execute it. It was just fleshing it out to make it more impactful. Thanks to the help of my peers and lab instructors. But really the main struggle with me was myself. Directing a film is a really big responsibility. It's not easy to just say, oh, hey, let me go make a film and stuff. No, it's about really thinking about not just about how you want to show your film, but to others, like what is your real message? And doing that, it took a lot of thinking and a lot of time and a lot of stress to just get my idea, my message out. So that was my main struggles, and thankfully enough, I persevered to get here in this moment.
My name is Quentin Stallworth, and I was the director of No Ratings, No Reviews. Yeah, I kind of agree with David here, but I think one thing that I struggled with a lot in the process was kind of casting actors. While I was casting actors, everything went smoothly, right? And then, of course, the main actor had to back out a day before the shoot was going to happen. So it was kind of tight, but we found a way to have an actor kind of step in. But then, of course, that actor also left. So it was kind of and this was the night before the shoot. So I was kind of stressed, kind of nerve-wracking. I didn't know if I was going to have to act. But then we made our way around getting a main actor and kind of the friend of that actor, and we went around the problems, and that's kind of the thing I was most proud of.
My name is Violet Gallo, and my film was Sky and Lucia. And one thing I found, I guess, hard about it was the writing and the directing, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do for my script yet when I first started Narrative Lab, and directing was also very difficult. But after a while, I felt more confident about it, and it turned out to be really fun. So, yeah.
My name is Rachel Kelly, and I made Misconception, and I feel like the biggest struggle I had with making this film was really writing it, because it was really stressful to really kind of condense the idea down and make it into 10 minutes, as well as just writing and dialogue. But my proudest moment would probably be after filming on set, and it was just such an amazing experience being on set and being able to feel really accomplished after I finished it.
My name's Octavia Simon, and I made Solace. One big struggle for me was kind of taking the story that I already had and making it into a script format, because it was originally going to be the story for a book that I was writing. So working with my mentor, like getting on Zoom calls and FaceTimes every weekend and condensing the story down and making it a good format to give to my actors was definitely a struggle. And my proudest moment was actually being able to have my actors portray the story, because the story is pretty true, slightly fictionalized, but I guess I would give it up to the people that I took inspiration from for the characters in allowing me and trusting me to put this story on the screen.
Hi, my name is Shantaniran, and my film is Keychain. I guess for me, one thing that I struggled with throughout this process is basically developing my story. Before I joined Narrative Lab, my story was just an idea in my head, and I think days or weeks before Narrative Lab, I just decided to I'll write it on the script. And throughout the process, I worked on it. I tried to develop it into what you've seen. Throughout the whole process, there were struggles throughout the process, but everything is worth it.
Hello, my name is Kayla Mccoy. I was the director of Camera Girl. So throughout this process, it was most definitely not easy. It took a lot of feedback from mentors, instructors, other filmmakers, and directors. I would probably say that I did have a breaking point, especially when kind of recruiting actors. That is actually a really difficult part. It's a very difficult process, especially because everybody has a life. Everyone gets busy. There are times when people get busy, and I did have a main actor who kind of left, and then I had to recruit the main one back. So it was kind of difficult and a little bit stressful. But I would say that the best thing that I did was not giving up, because there was a point in time where I kind of did feel like giving up, but I didn't, and I kind of just pushed through. And I'm very just proud of the accomplishment and the results.
My name is Saquon. I was behind Canceled. So the most challenging part definitely was the fact that I had to find a story in general, because I actually was a part of the documentary lab before I was moved last minute to the narrative, because my story is more of a narrative than a documentary. So besides that, another issue was recruiting an actor, because I was I actually have to talk to a stranger in order for this to happen, and I didn't want to do that. So that ended up happening. She's a really good actress. She improvised the entire thing, so there was no script at all. So I'm proud that I was able to find somebody who was able to outshine that aspect, because I felt like I was an amateur when it came to the whole directing thing. But it's really
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I also want to acknowledge Nyla Garraway, who was the filmmaker behind the final film that you guys saw, When You Don't See Me, I'm Gone. She's amazing, and sorry that she can't be here today, but she's killing it at school right now. So I just want to, say, that she was part of this class as well, and she deserves props. Okay, so next question. One of the really great things about this class is that you guys all got to crew for each other, or at least work on each other's films in some capacity, whether it be being an extra or in post-production or whatever it might have been. Can you guys give us one, moment that you guys had during your production that you enjoyed in terms of working on each other's films? Starting with Jason.
I can't lie, there's so many moments in working with my peers, fellow peers. I would say the one moment was I was a PA in Sean's film, and I remember after we stopped shooting everything. We just decided to go and sit down and like eat some food. You know, I remember one of the actors said that I remember like specifically he was going to order a lot of stuff, and I remember when an actor said, "Oh, this is not my tip." Yeah, it's better when she said it than me, but that's the most, I would say, like funniest moment for me.
Okay, so for me, the best moment is probably almost the worst moment that was doing Boom in Nyla's film When You Miss Me, I'm Gone. And basically, we were like in a very cramped like apartment area, and I was doing the Boom for the very first time, and the area was so cramped that I had to literally be careful where I was swinging the thing. And the moment that I literally jinxed myself, I said, "Yo, imagine that I hit that chandelier." The moment I did, boom, and then the chandelier like shook, and then my heart almost dropped because I almost had to pay money, and I don't got that money. So, yeah. But yeah. Anyways, that was the best part, but also the worst moment of my life.
My favorite part of being a PA on someone's film is probably when I was helping Jason with the mind space. I thought it was just really cool how it was designed, how we had to go around kind of making the room so that it could fit in the area that we were filming in, and we had to kind of go through and kind of envision ourselves in the camera to know exactly what the audience kind of sees, and like we had to position everything so it was like correct, and I thought it was great.
My favorite moments was like, to add on to Quentin, was like building the mind space area, but also the hospital room for Jason's film. I also really liked just like seeing the blood in Quentin's film, because like I saw like being poured in like this knife. It was really fun and cool. Yeah.
My favorite moment being on other people's set would probably be on Violet's set being an extra. And in one scene, like I'm holding papers, or Nyla and I are holding papers, and then papers are like they're kind of hit out of our hands, and it's just really funny because the actor kept coming up and being like, I'm so sorry," and it was like, it's fine, but it was just I kept laughing and accidentally looking at the camera in that moment.
Sadly, I was really busy with school, so I wasn't on set for a lot of you guys' films. I do remember helping you guys with different things pre-production. So I know that I had a shot list template that I shared. I helped like with the scheduling for the call sheets for your shoot, Quentin. That was really fun, actually, and being able to kind of just see, I guess, behind the scenes on another film. It wasn't just mine, and I kind of appreciated more all the work that goes into all that we did. So,
for me, like working on like most of the shoots, it was like a great experience. But one thing I'll share is that we have this inside joke where every time we're in someone's shoot, we tell the director, "Oh, when you do the credits, make sure you put our names in as best PAs." If you watch like the film, like in the credits, you've seen there are like some films where like best PAs on it, so they were in it. So yeah.
I would say that some of my favorite moments being on set and being a director and kind of helping out with my peers would kind of be when I met everyone in person, especially the actors and like all of my people who've helped, and especially because I had to speak with them through Zoom and virtual calls, text, email, and so when I finally had the chance to see them in person, it felt it felt really good to see everyone in person and kind of have everyone know their lines. And it was just amazing.
All right, so this question technically does not apply to me.
Would you like to tell us one on-set moment that you enjoyed?
I guess the fact that the actress was very professional, and I'm not really used to that because I'm usually working with classmates and a lot of them laugh. So having someone actually know how to get straight back into it after messing up is refreshing, and also, I guess, an experience for the future.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And as you all heard, it takes many hands to make these things a reality. And part of the magic of RealWorks is that every Narrative Lab student is paired with a filmmaker mentor. Do we have any mentors in the audience today? Hands up. Awesome. Yeah, let's give a hand to the mentors, please. So the question for you guys is, what was one moment that you would like to share that your mentor helped you out, or that an experience that you had that you want to share with us? Starting with Jason.
So for me, I'm not sure he's here. My mentor, oh, he's there, Steven. So for me, the one moment that where really our bond between me and Steven was actually when we first started shooting my first film, Broken Soul. It was like, just in general, like how, because at some point on set we got a problem, as you might have saw in the film, where Sambro was supposed to, like, he's supposed to walk, but instead of that we got him a wheelchair, and within that moment it was truly was a point where we like stick to each other, like we knew each other's, like how we worked, if that makes sense.
So as Saquon quoted, this question doesn't apply to me, but I will say that I had two mentors. Now, I was supposedly supposed to have a mentor beforehand, but I never got a mentor, never really heard or seen my mentor. So I was kind of in I wouldn't say a bad situation, but thankfully I had two people that helped push me through and got me through, although they weren't my supposed mentors, but I'm deeply and grateful for their presence. So I want to give a shout out to my mom over there. Hi, Mom. Yeah, amazing. She helped me with like the script a little bit to make it more polished, feel more realistic. So the part where the woman said, yeah, quit your yapping. Yeah, that was her. And also the second person, Albus, over there. Me and him are really, like, we're big geeks on superheroes, so we without a doubt hit it off with, like, knowing how Cowboy was going to be executed, and I really am grateful for him helping me and also mentoring me when getting this shot done.
I had a lot of difficulties, and I had like writer's block for somewhat of the portion of writing the script. So my mentor, Noel Paul, he helped me a lot with that, and really made me get through the entire script process. And so did Alvis. You guys helped a lot, and that's probably my main point where I was helped a lot. And yeah.
The main things my mentor helped me with was like how to be assertive in directing and how to like what to look for in casting as well. They also helped me like with what to talk to in production meetings because I didn't really know like the structure, like what to do. So they really helped me out with that. And like and with my script, obviously we did a lot of like back and forth with it, and yeah.
My mentor, he really helped me with like developing my characters and just being able to develop my story more because I was just having trouble like figuring out who my characters were, and he really helped be like that supportive person and helping me make my script.
My mentor, Mary Glenn, we actually started like a schedule of having Zoom calls and FaceTimes, and it was every weekend. And it ended up just being us becoming really close friends. And I'm really, really thankful for her. Half the time we weren't even talking about the film. We would talk about our day, talk about shows or books or things that we saw that we were interested in. And we ended up going out to the movies and hanging out. And yeah, I just think that that was a relationship that I'm really glad that I fostered. And I'm really glad that she saw my vision.
My mentor, Dane, please raise your hand. There he is. He was really helpful with giving me notes like on my script and also when I'm editing. So it has been like really helpful throughout the process. And Dane, thank you. So yeah.
My mentor, Raphael and Alvis, shout out to them, has actually helped my film tremendously. Without them, I don't know where my film would be, because they were the ones who really helped me kind of develop the script. And even through the editing process, they have really helped me condense when I needed to or add by taking out some dialogue. And I just learned so much throughout this whole process of directing and editing. And I feel like that these skills will be with me even for so long and into the future. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you, guys.
So my mentor, Chris, is Chris right there? Hi. So he helped me besides the film part, because we mainly just had that for like 10 minutes. The rest would consist of like conversations regarding like my own side things, like writing. Like I'm writing a story, and every week I would send this chapter to him and he would read it and then like give me feedback, which I felt was very helpful, because from someone who's not a parent or a family member, it's more refreshing to get a general perspective from an outsider. But I feel like it was very helpful because it just helps me as a writer, and that can translate into filmmaking as well. So thank you for that.
All right, one more time for the mentors, guys. Okay, so now we'd like to open it up to questions from the audience. Does anyone right here? Yeah.
I was super impressed by the visual storytelling in all of the films, and I'd love to hear a little bit about what each filmmaker's primary visual inspirations or influences were.
Yeah, let's start with Jason.
So for me, my inspiration for the visuals was actually from the film Eternal Sunshine. I don't know if you haven't watched that, but films like that, but also and Enter the Void as well, with that like POV shot of the characters going through his memories and seeing all his people and stuff. So that's kind of the visual feel, I feel.
With me, I have a bunch of visual inspirations. One is mainly Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. I really love the amount of details that they put in with like the, not just like the actions of characters, but like the comic aesthetics, like pow, boom, pow. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that in there because that's gonna take a lot more time. But if I would put boom, pow, bam, because it just makes it so much more pleasing to see. Also, iBoy, it was a book originally, but then 2016 Netflix made it to a movie, and I really loved like the the technology powers, because you don't really see technology powers like that all the time. Maybe aside from Iron Man and Cyborg, but just using it in general, like intelligently, I really loved it, and so that's like the two main inspirations I got from Cowboy.
I honestly didn't have any like inspiration from a movie in particular, but I guess what inspired me the most, I guess, would be kind of throughout my life, I was kind of addicted to video games and kind of always online. So I kind of just got inspiration from that and kind of just made it into a film in a way. Yeah, that's kind of what my visual inspiration is.
For me, my visual inspirations were the shows Buffy the Vampire Slayer and I Am Not Okay with This. And for like a movie, it was The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love, and I wouldn't have seen it without Anais. So yeah.
There isn't like one particular movie that inspired me, but I guess like being in English class, we talked a lot about like visuals and in music videos and things like that. So that was something that like I really wanted to make sure that I used is like symbolism and visuals in my film.
First, I would like to say thank you, Quentin and Rachel, for being the first ones to say that you don't have a visual inspiration, because I didn't really have a visual inspiration from a specific movie. But my love for psychology, what I'm studying now in college, is something that inspired me to put this story on the screen, because you kind of don't know what other people go through and how that's affecting their attitude, their actions, things like that. And I feel like it's easier to, or at least the human population finds that it's easier to sympathize with the character on the screen rather than the person sitting next to you. And also a musical inspiration, Sunday Kind of Love by Etta James.
For me, I guess like a huge inspiration for me is anime. I am a huge slice of life anime fan. Basically, every time like I watch like a slice of life anime, I kind of basically like use bits and pieces to create my own story. For this film, like for my film specifically, I kind of had inspiration from this anime series called Just Because. It's about like this guy coming back home to his hometown. So basically, kind of similar to my film. So basically, I used that bit and also like from the other animes that I've watched to like create this story.
I also don't have too much of a visual reference, but coming into making the script, I kind of looked at the movie Soul kind of as a similar movie to mine. And I also used my personal story creating this film as a reference for my film. So I think those were the top two.
So I don't have a visual inspiration either, but my general inspiration probably is from Twitter, because that's what the whole thing takes place on. Because I've witnessed people getting canceled and how the whole message of it's like it's ineffective regardless of the backlash the person temporarily receives. So that's really it.
All right, thank you guys. Do one more, right? Yeah, I think we can do one more question.
What are you doing next?
If you didn't hear that, what are you doing next? Starting with Jason.
So for me right now, I'm just doing college. I'm taking a little break from filmmaking, but I am on the side in my free time. I'm trying to develop another short story, which is much more comedic than this film I made.
Like what Jason said, filmmaking takes a lot of energy, so I'm just gonna take a little slight break. But, however, I like what Jason said. I'm still in the works of getting concept ideas and drawing fleshing out and drawing my ideas for different characters to build on. I'm hoping a franchise of Cowboy like the MCU, and so yeah, it's gonna be alright. So I just hope that I can make it like the MCU. So yeah, that's hopefully my idea.
I'm thinking of kind of just polishing my editing skills, honestly, because that's what I'm interested in most in the aspect of filmmaking. And so, yeah, for real works, I probably won't be doing another lab this year, because I mean, in my junior year, like SAT, kind of that stuff. But next year, hopefully, maybe I could join another lab.
I plan on doing fellows this year, so I'll be doing screenwriting for that. So hopefully that will turn out great.
I'm also hoping to do fellows, but also being in my senior year college applications. And for filmmaking, you need like films for that. So currently trying to make one. A lot of stress with that, but yeah.
Taking a break from filmmaking because college, freshman year. But I am going to continue writing my story. I'm currently in the middle of the first of, I hope, 3 books that I will be writing. And in college, studying psychology. I know I'm still in my freshman year, but I do hope to pursue a PsyD in psychology, focusing on PTSD and trauma. So,
For me, college, one. I'm also part of this film production club. I just joined it recently, and also I'm also an intern at like a podcast lab through Media Makers. So I guess that's like what I'm focusing on right now. I'm also still looking for inspiration for a next story. I do have something in mind for a story, but I still have to develop it further.
For me, I still want to polish my screenwriting and editing skills because I know that I'll be using them in the future. And what I have been doing now was like jotting down ideas for like films that I want to create. Like I really want to create like thrillers since I've always like watched them growing up. So I'm just excited for what's to come next.
So I'm probably just gonna finish high school because it's only a year left. But technically I'm already in like a film class within school, so that's kind of helping on the way. But I might do RealWorks again, I don't know. But I also do want to finish writing because I'm like 13 chapters in finishing a book I'm writing since like April, so.
All right, let's give it up one more time for Narrative Lab 2022. Congratulations, guys.